Hey, Mr. Nelson's class, this is Steve Grove, Jeremy's old high school buddy. I'm living out here in California and working at YouTube. And Mr. Nelson tells me you've been studying a lot of political history this year and current affairs. And of course, like everyone else in the nation, I'm sure you're keeping a close eye on the election, which has been incredibly exciting. Mr. Nelson said that some of you had questions on where the candidates stand in education. Well, to find that out, I suggest that you go to youtube.com/youchoose and look at the sort of actually it's called an issues grid, where you can see there's an education tab. Click on that and you'll see videos from every candidate talking about their position on education. Definitely a key issue for all of you as you head to the voting boxes this fall. It is a unique time in American history, and youth voter turnout has been enormous in the election so far. In the primary elections up to date, there's been almost double the number of 18 to 29-year-olds showing up to vote than there were back in 2004. And Minnesota, as you may know, has some of the highest voter turnout rates in the country. In 2004, people between 18 and 29 in Minnesota showed up at a rate of 69% to cast their ballot. And of course, Kerry narrowly won the state in 2004. So in 2008, the big question is, which way is Minnesota going to go? And I think all of you have a big say in that. Some experts predict that youth voting will be up by 25% this fall compared to 2004. So more and more opportunities exist for young people to get out and get engaged in politics, and therefore, I think, to actually vote and make a difference. Now, the big question for all of you is, what issues are going to matter to you when you go and vote this fall? And the great thing about America is you can choose whichever issue is most important to you. But I would highlight three in particular that I think your generation, and in fact our generation, is going to have to deal with in the short and long-term future. The first is the economy. With the dollar in the tank right now, and with the subprime mortgage crisis having us sliding into this recession, and with the job market changing and the future of American employment really in flux, I think finding a candidate whose economic policies and view of the economy match your own and match what you think is needed to make this country successful is going to be a very important issue. It affects all of you, your future livelihoods, and your future wealth. Second, I would say national security. Obviously, we live in a very different world from when we did just 7 years ago. And I think that finding a candidate who matches your view of how we should interact in the world around us today, what we need to make our country safe and secure, is important. And you see competing ideas out there, very real competing ideas about where America should be in order to make ourselves safe. So the economy, foreign policy, and then third, I would say healthcare. We have a real healthcare crisis in this country. Millions of people are uninsured. Take a look at the candidates' positions on healthcare, and do we need a lot more government control on healthcare so that the uninsured have ways to take care of themselves? Do we need a better private market system such that the doctors and pharmaceutical companies are incentivized to keep prices down and provide services for those who don't have them? Or some mixture of the two. So I think healthcare is also a key challenge looming on the horizon that you should be considering. Finally, I just want to say, keep up the great work out there. Keep studying hard. Do your homework. Mr. Nelson tells me that you guys need to work a little bit harder, actually. And listen, we live in a really unique period in history where you have more chance to have your say than ever before. Use tools like YouTube and Facebook and MySpace to put your ideas out there on the internet, interact with others. It's never been easier before to do in the history of America, and I think this is really a unique chance to do that. And it's also, with the advent of technology, a lot easier to find out about where candidates stand and where the issues are headed. So use the internet for that as well. And finally, what dirt can I tell you about Mr. Nelson? Well, Mr. Nelson was probably the first kid in elementary school to have a girlfriend. Her name was Sarah Bates. And Jeremy used to walk around the playground holding her hand while we were all playing kickball and baseball. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day, and get out and vote.